Welcome to the Flex Zone. This is Dre in the chair for Mikel, D, Byron, Cravante. What's good, everybody?
What it do? What it do?
What's going on, people?
Good to see you in the chair, Dre.
So we are the Flex Zone on Fox Sports 1340 AM, the only place that gives you sports how you want it, when you need it. Go to our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us and comment on Twitter at The Flex Zone 1. Or if you have any ideas, questions, or comments, or possibly want to be a guest, send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. Tonight's show, we'll be discussing the NBA news, and then we'll conclude with WWE. However, in the sports world, we've had two tragic deaths in sports. We've had the death of Pat Summitt and Buddy Ryan. So first, Cravante, I'm going to ask you your thoughts about Pat Summitt.
Pat Summitt, probably the best women's coach ever. I mean, over 1,000 wins, won over 80% of her games. I believe 8 titles. I mean, when you think of women's sports, and even though she was on a college level, you think of women's sports, Serena Williams, Pat Summitt also has to be mentioned as well. She was, you know what I'm saying, college basketball for women. And definitely sad to see her go. And she taught a lot of the greats. So it's gonna be good to hear what they have to say about her.
D?
Yeah, Coach Summitt, she was great at what she did. I thought she was one of the only females that coached men. She had Candace Parker in our career, Shamika Holzclaw. The list goes on and on, the great women she had down there. And it's not going to be the same without her. We heard a couple of days ago she was in bad straits, but we didn't expect things to go like it did as quickly as it did. So condolences to her and her family, and hopefully the tradition lives on down in Knoxville.
Byron?
Pat Summitt, really can't say much more than these gentlemen said. I mean, she did a little bit of everything. She made women on and off the court. You guys touched on a little bit about her as a coach, but just as a leader of a team, being a coach, in and out the classroom, all of the women that she coached and that finished their commitment with Tennessee, they all graduated, walked across the stage. So anytime you're able to do that, being a collegiate athletic coach, student athlete, you hear that term all the time. Looks like she was doing her job not only on the basketball court but in the classroom, just being able to develop great players. And, of course, you look at some of the players she had. Candace Parker stands out, that dynasty they had. Just a powerhouse in women's college sports in general, especially in the NCAA.
And then also we've had Buddy Ryan passing as well. Byron, let me get your thoughts about Buddy Ryan.
The original Ryan, as I like to call him. So, creator of the 46 defense, part of that 85 Bears team that had Ron Rivera on it. Just a great, great defensive-minded coach. You kind of see where his sons get their moxie from. Had a lot of confidence, definitely knew what he could do each and every week. He was going to bring pressure. He was going to hit you. And he didn't really care too much about the offensive side of the ball, much like his sons. But defensive-minded coach, tough nose, and you knew if you were going to play against a Buddy Ryan coach defense, you had to buckle your chin strap.
D?
Yeah, Coach Ryan was very special with mainly the 46 defense. He had some funny quotes as a coach, too. He mentioned how quarterbacks are whiny, deserve to get hit. And like his sons, he had that mindset. He wanted to see his sons coach together. He's seen them coach separately, but in Buffalo, they was going to be able to coach together this year. So I could see the Bills kind of going on for the Ryan family. I could see them really playing with a lot of emotion and a lot of purpose this year.
And Cravante?
Man, he created a defense that probably could never be replicated because I haven't seen it since. And I find it so funny that, it's called the 46 Bear defense, and they actually put up 46 points in that Super Bowl when they killed the Patriots.
That's true.
I felt that was special. And he didn't have that great of a success, when it comes to head coaching, but he was an awesome defensive mind. Probably one of the best. And Rex, Rex Ryan, he's really good at what he does, but it's just something Buddy Ryan had something a little extra. And, arguably, that was one of the greatest teams in history. 15-1, Super Bowl champs. Arguably the best defense of all time as well. Definitely going to be missed. And, He's definitely left a legacy for the Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Bears. I believe he's also on the Jets as well. So he's going to be
Cardinals
missed
as well.
Oh well, shoot,
Yeah.
all over the place. He definitely left his mark, and he also Michael Singletary. Can't say enough good things about him. And of course, they made a 30 for 30 about him, about the 85 Bears, And I believe in football life as well. So you're doing some good things if you're in those shows.
He was also a part of the Purple Eaters, Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings. Oh wow. And it's all
That's
really
another
good.
defense.
All really good defenses. Like
Good defense.
I would like to see the 46 defense replicated, but probably with the rules, it probably won't ever.
Well, here on the Flex Zone, we're going to take a moment of silence out for Pat Summitt and Buddy Ryan. All right, John, we're back. On a lighter note, there was a lot of news that went on in the NBA. Ben Simmons, the number 1 draft pick, he didn't come to L.A. like I thought he should have came to L.A., but, I mean,
I don't know why.
It happens. I'm going to let Byron start off and talk about the savior, as I call him, Ben
Jesus,
Simmons.
Lord.
Reaching, man. Reaching.
Well, Philadelphia, you may have your potential superstar, 6'10", guy who can do a little bit of everything. A lot of comparisons to, of course, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, but a more comparison I think that is more relevant, Grant Hill, guy who, when he came out, was very versatile, could score the basketball, wasn't the best shooter, much like Ben Simmons is. And I think one thing about Ben Simmons, he's left-handed, so he's able to go to his left 70% of the time, get to the basket, get easy points for himself and others. But I think his best asset is his vision and playmaking for others. And if he continues to do that, and if Philly, has their full sentiment of players, Joel Embiid, sees the floor, and got Nerlens Noel, they may have a nice, solid core. And Jerry Colangelo may be doing the right things with his fresh start in Philly.
D?
We talk about winners. I thought New Orleans won, getting Buddy Hield and Chico Diallo from Kansas. Thought they really did a good job of getting energy guys on their team. I thought the Thunder won big time, getting Ibaka out of there, picking up Open Depot, Sabonis' son, which plays with a lot of effort. You watch Gonzaga, he played with a lot of effort last year. I thought they really did well. I know you're talking about Ben Simmons. I'm not a big fan of him yet. I want to see for myself because he didn't show me much at LSU. But the main thing is for the Sixers, who's going to play the 2 and the 1 guard?
According to Dre, Ben Simmons.
Should be Ben Simmons.
Should be Ben Simmons.
Oh, boy.
Kill me, man.
We will see about that.
me,
But
man.
the Six, don't be shy, folks, as the Sixers are back in the top 3 in the draft one more year next year.
Come on. Karante, go ahead.
I mean, you've been absurd for a while now, and you just throwing around this word savior like it's a regular word. Like we don't use the word savior all the time. He's not it. I'm not even gonna pinpoint him. How college basketball is set up now, there's no room for anybody to be any type of savior. Nobody's actually learning the game of basketball. All these guys' IQs are really low. They're just crazy athletic, crazy fast, and crazy talented. They're not students of the game. So with that being said, there will be no saviors probably for a long time now. The last savior was LeBron. And Ben Simmons is far from that.
Well, he is. His agent is Rich Paul, LeBron's guy, so he will be getting a lot of tutelage from the LeBron James School of Basketball.
Byron, what did you say about Ben Simmons one more time?
Oh, God.
He can do a little bit of everything. He's versatile. I said I compare him to Grant Hill a lot. Has the potential. If he gets a jump shot, that's going to be the key. Consistent jumper. He could be a potential 20-point-a-game scorer, 7-8 assists. I love his ability to make players around him better, which you don't see a lot of as well. So I like the pick.
You talked about his vision, right?
Some of the best vision we've seen probably since LeBron.
The ability to be able to distribute the basketball, his basketball IQ, and yet you're saying like this man can't come in and change the franchise.
You're making me go there, man. You're making me go
there. Oh, come there.
Please. How many LSU games did you see this year?
Look, all I need.
I asked the question.
I saw one. That's all I need is one.
Oh, bro.
Really?
Oh, you need. Oh,
Oh,
you.
boy.
Sometimes
That one game in the
you would be the
NCAA
worst
tournament?
scout ever.
No.
The worst scout ever.
Well, look. Ben Simmons, right? He will come around and change the 76ers.
Oh my!
This man, you know what he's going to do? He's going to change the city of Philadelphia like Allen Iverson did.
Ooh, there you go. Reaching
Oh
again.
Lord!
Well, that was when the last time they had a number one pick. It was Allen Iverson. So big shoes to fill.
Hey, you know who else? You know who else did a little bit of? You know who else did a little bit of everything really well? Huh? Dre. You know who else did a little bit of everything pretty well?
Who?
Christian Laettner.
Ooh.
Now he's come on. Well,
I'm just saying. We talking college, right? Christian Laettner, arguably the best college basketball player ever.
He is the best college basketball
and
player.
what happened to him when he got to the league?
We're not going to talk about that.
Because there ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about.
He had an okay career.
Was any
What
of
do you
them?
mean? Who had okay? What okay career? How many teams he played for?
He bounced around more than the ball, man. Come on.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, look, it's not going to happen to Ben Simmons.
Why wouldn't it? When Christian Laettner was the best college basketball player ever. Ben Simmons wasn't even the best LSU player ever. Well, no,
he's not Shaq.
No, he wasn't, because Shaq
No,
played for
Shaq.
LSU.
Pistol
goes-
Pete.
There goes that.
Well, I mean, we're just look. Nowadays, these kids, they're not motivated to stay as long.
He wasn't
And-
motivated on his team
And
this
you're
year.
one, and you think he's the savior?
Oh my!
But
goodness.
He's proven to you he's not motivated.
but what
And he's playing for Philly. When last time Philly was relevant? There's no motivation in Philly. No motivation in Philly.
He will be the savior of the
Say
franchise.
the word savior again.
And I just wish that the Los Angeles Lakers could have picked him up, but instead,
You'd have set the Lakers back
Oh,
5 more
but
years.
but instead the Lakers got
Oh,
Brandon
time
Ingram.
out. You're a Duke fan, aren't you?
Yes,
You should be happy they got
I,
Brandon Ingram.
I
right?
am happy.
No, he's not.
I am
No, he's
happy.
not. No, he's not.
I'm-
He ain't said the word Brandon Ingram yet.
Right.
I'm happy, but I'm not joyful.
Dre, this is why you should be happy.
That doesn't make any.
Brandon
They
Ingram's
really don't.
ceiling is potentially higher. 6'10", 6'9". Reminds a lot of people Kevin Durant, but I look at Paul George. Definitely a versatile player, can score, not a finished product, but as you saw throughout the season, shot got better, shot about 50%, and was able to guard the best player on the other team as well. So that versatility is something the Lakers lack, and I think they could end up possibly with the best player out of this draft.
Yeah, I think the Lakers did pretty good, but
That's right.
Did better than the Sixers.
But I mean, everybody just knows I'm just sold on this
I don't know
kid,
why.
Ben
Don't understand
Simmons.
why. Don't understand why.
I don't even.
Don't understand why.
Well, Dre, we got to take a trip up to Philly and go watch him play.
Hey, look,
Sure,
I'll
go
take-
watch
I'll
him get blown up by 20 points. Sure.
Come on. Look, okay, what about the Lakers pick? As a Lakers fan, D,
I
How do you
like
feel
the pick.
about the
I like
pick?
Ingram. He's got to put on a little weight, but I think he'll do that in time. And the other guy they got from France, we'll see him in a couple years. It should be all right. But I think the Lakers are getting in the 21st century. We kind of said last year they was stubborn in their ways. But I think they're getting in the 21st century. They're looking good. And Luke Walton's going to take them to the promised land.
as long as they have Jim Buss, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cavante?
No comment.
I thought I definitely had Brandon Ingram rated higher than Ben Simmons because I feel like he's just really, really overrated. But Brandon Ingram, like Byron said, his ceiling's definitely higher. And he just for the simple fact of him going to Duke, he has a higher basketball IQ than Ben Simmons. And that would take you a lot further in the game of basketball than pure athleticism.
Byron?
Only 19. Ceiling's definitely bright. But I think the Lakers are headed in the right direction. They got the coach. They have a nice core with Clarkson, Randall, and Russell, no matter what you think about him off the court. Getting Ingram, now the question is, what do they do in free agency?
I don't even know what to say about the Lakers in free agency. So we're just
It's not too much to say. Well, Kobe's not there, so maybe I'll have better luck.
okay, Nelly.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying.
He said it, not me.
As much as Lakers fans, we disagree with that. It is a point. It is a point to be made with that. I can't deny it.
I'm just saying. But now, who are your guys that you're gonna bring into meetings now? Because
True.
Kobe was a name at least, but
True.
now it's like we got D'Angelo Russell.
You got to bring
coming to
Magic.
our meet.
Come on, Magic. Bring Magic.
No, Magic ain't walking through that
Oh.
door either. Moving on. There was a trade, though, possibly the biggest trade of the NBA, with Derrick Rose going to the Knicks. Byron, you seem like you sold on the move.
I really like this move. It puts the Knicks. You know what? I'm gonna say it now.
Oh,
The
boy.
Knicks will make the playoffs next year.
My man.
They will make it. I have them right now as about the 5th best team in the East. You still got Cleveland, of course. You got Toronto, played in the East Conference Finals. Boston, even though they didn't really strike gold in the draft. I like what Indiana did getting Teague. I think that moves them to a top 14 with Paul George and Miles Turner. And the Heat. I can't forget the Heat, of course. But I have the Knicks coming. You got my guy Porzingis. You know I love Porzingis. You get Melo. He's going to the twilight of his career, but he still can give you 25 a night. And Derrick Rose, I know the injuries. It's a swing for the fences, as you would say. But he played 66 games last year. Started off really slow, but I think towards the end of the year, shot closer to 50%. You saw a little bit more of the Derrick Rose we're used to seeing. Quick first step. And his mid-range game has become a lot better over the past few years. Can fit in that triangle offense with Hornacek, who loves his guard play. Now the question is, what do they do in free agency? And let's not forget, it's only 1 year, people. So after this year, Derrick Rose is going to be a free agent. He's going to be highly motivated. He wanted to come to New York, playing the Big Apple, changing his number. We'll see what happens. And the Knicks unloading Robin Lopez, Calderon, getting rid of over $14 million in cap room.
Huge.
I know people saying they'd be able to talk to LeBron, Chris Paul, Wade, and Melo next year, but even just this year, getting rid of that cap hit, paying Derrick Rose for the 1 year, I really don't see a negative side to it either way. And still getting a second-round pick in next year's draft.
Yeah, it was a good move for the Knicks overall. They can get one more person, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say playoffs, definitely. I don't think they're quite a playoff team yet. They can get Dwight Howard. I think that would help them.
And Joakim Noah. Him and Derrick Rose go way back.
Yeah, either one.
That could be a good pickup.
Well, see, I don't like the Joakim Noah thing because I feel like you're trying to bring the Bulls to New York.
But in a triangle offense, a passing big man is essential. So you put somebody that can play at the high post. Derrick Rose does what he does. Melo, you know he can score. Got Porzingis. Now the question is, does this stunt the growth of Porzingis? Because he's an emerging star. They have to feature him. They can't let him turn into Chris Bosh or Kevin Love, if you get what I'm saying, as far as being the third wheel. They have to still feature him. I think even play through him more because of his versatility. But that's where Hornacek, Phil Jackson, and the powers that be.
Right. That's what the guys got to definitely set him up. So I'm actually, if they get another piece, like any type of superstar, Porzingis is definitely going to suffer because Melo needs the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed, and that probably will never change. Melo still needs the ball. Now, luckily, Derrick Rose is not the Derrick Rose of 2009 because that would be horrible. I don't want to put any superstar with Carmelo Anthony. And I you know what I'm saying, it talks about KD potentially coming and all that, but I don't like it. I don't like these putting superstars together because it's not real. This is a video game to me.
Is it that, or you just not sold on Carmelo Anthony?
No, you know I'm not sold on Carmelo Anthony.
I know.
No, but that's real. I don't like superstars getting together like that anyway. Not when they're both in their prime. No,
so,
this is not an all-star game.
So how do you feel about the trade then overall?
I like it. I love it for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose definitely a fresh start. He definitely needed it. It doesn't seem like he was really wanted in Chicago.
That's the sad part. He's from there.
From his press conference for getting introduced to New York. Doesn't seem like he was really. He kind of got booted out of Chicago. So he definitely good fresh start. He doesn't have to be Derrick Rose like that. Derrick Rose that everybody has been in the back of their mind. He doesn't have to be that guy because Carmelo Anthony's there. He just has to facilitate the ball whenever Carmelo needs it at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I like it for Derrick Rose. For the Knicks, I like it because it's just a 1 year. It's a 1 year prove it type of thing.
Right.
So that works out for New York. So I like it for both sides.
And these guys have played together. Derrick Rose and Melo, USA team.
Right.
They get along well. It's going to be interesting to see. I like I said, right now they're like fifth best team in the East just because of looking at how everything falls. Because let's not forget, Atlanta's going to fall out. I think now the Wizards, a lot of dynamic. Yeah. But looking at the teams I named, but you got the Knicks who could slide in there as a 5 or 6 seed.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they could legit be like the 5 or 6 seed because the bottom half of the East is still pretty weak. And like the Hawks are definitely falling off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my Wizards, they've been falling off for the past couple of years now.
And one wild card is what does Charlotte do as well. But I think the Knicks just having that nucleus of Porzingis, Melo, and Rose, and they're going to sign someone. We just don't know.
Right. Oh yeah, they definitely
even if it is Dwight Howard or somebody, they're going to get somebody.
Right. But once again, they got to upgrade the bench somehow, some way. Like New York will definitely live and die by whoever the next person they sign at Carmelo Anthony, which I don't think is a good idea to put a superstar with Carmelo Anthony, but we'll see what happens.
And very quickly, I know we're speaking on the East. just seen a lot of teams in the East didn't have draft picks and signing folks. I think the East is not. It's going to be once again not that good.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
So the Knicks. Byron already said playoffs.
One
Playoff?
more. I think they got to get one more legit player. They don't have to be a superstar, but one more legit player. They'll be a playoff team.
Playoffs.
I think because the East is so weak on the bottom half, I think they're a playoff team now. But
Yeah.
I think they're a piece away from being a potential contender.
Right, top four. They're
Yeah,
going to get in that
that-
top four in the East.
Yeah.
That was the next question.
Yeah,
Now, are
definitely.
they actually contenders to the Cavaliers?
No.
Oh, no.
No. I don't think nobody really in the East, not right now, is contending with the Cavs. Well, the Cavs have taken a little bit of back step.
Yeah, they're going to lose some of their bench.
Because they going to lose. Yeah, Richard Jefferson retired. J.R. Smith is probably not going to be back. Dellavedova is probably not going to be back.
Hey, I like the pick they picked up in
Oh,
the draft, though, Mr. Felder.
from
Yeah.
Oakland. From
Yeah,
Oakland.
Yes,
Yeah.
he can play.
Yeah.
So,
He's
yeah,
a little guy, so you know.
So
I
Delly
don't-
can go. Yes,
I don't know with the little guys. He has a lot to prove because he's little. So but he can ball. He can ball. So if he get a shot, he's gonna make the most of it.
So should Melo stay in New York, being that they did make a trade, or should
I mean, he made the bed, sleep in it.
I don't even know why.
And it's
I
not-
would say don't. I said don't ask me.
And it's not a waterbed either.
No, not at all. It's a money bed though.
No doubt.
It's definitely a money
It's
bed.
that Birdman money bed, you know.
Oh boy. And so yeah, I can say Dre. I don't even know why you even. Nah, you made this bed. Nah, you ride this out.
Byron. So-
Okay.
Real quick on the Knicks, they won 32 games last year, so they weren't horrible. So adding Derrick Rose, I think gives them another 8 to 10 wins alone. That's 40.
Yeah. that's
So
right,
you
that
get 40 wins in the
42.
East. That's top 5. You get one more piece, they could be at about 45. Boston won 48 last year. So,
Without a big time.
yeah,
guy.
so they can get to about that 45, 48 range. Be in the top 4, possibly. I'd say right now 5th, just off.
Problem with the Knicks
Name
was
teams.
they started off so well last year, and then they just they looked like crap after the first of the year.
All right, so they're talking about free agency, Kevin Durant or Dwight Howard. Does any one of them go to the Knicks?
If I was the Knicks, I wouldn't take him. The Dwight Howard, that is, and I really think KD's gonna stay because the Thunder and Orlando, like D said earlier, they made a big. I think that's a pretty big move.
It was.
Unloading Ibaka to Orlando and got Oladipo to Thunder. That's another legit scorer. Now my issue is he? He's not a point guard to me. You know what I'm saying? They're still the Thunder are still missing that point guard to facilitate everybody because I don't want Russell Westbrook thinking. When he starts thinking, that's when he blows his top. Like
That's true.
I need him to be aggressive on the wing. I don't want him to be aggressive, bring the ball up the court. Now, if Oladipo could be that quote unquote point guard, sure, by all means. But if not, I feel like he's like another Westbrook-esque type of player, as in he needs the ball to be effective.
Byron?
Well, I just think the Oladipo trade just solidifies they're still the second best team in the West. Can they get over
Yeah.
the hump of the worst? Now, they were up 3-1, so you got to say probably they're, right there again. So we'll see. Like I said, they're probably still the second best team in the West. But I think this allows more versatility. You can play all three of them together. You got Sabonis in the draft. You still got Steven Adams. Question is with the Thunder, though. They need three-point shooting. Still haven't really addressed it. And like you said, the dynamic of Westbrook and Oladipo. Westbrook's probably more of the point guard of the two because a lot of people haven't watched the Magic. They had Alfred Payton, so
Right.
he wasn't even the point guard in Orlando.
Right.
wasn't.
But he's an athletic wing who can defend, can score. But we'll see how that works out. It'll take some time to get used to because you still got to feed Durant. And you know how Westbrook and Durant, that whole dynamic goes on forever.
Right.
So Billy Donovan, young coach, just like Hornacek, we'll see what they do.
Indeed.
I like the trade for the Thunder. They picked up why can I think his name? Even it's a hard last name to pronounce. He's with the Bucks for a lot of years.
Fournier?
Yeah.
Fournier?
He's an effort guy. I think that's good for the Thunder. Like I said earlier, Sabonis is a very good effort guy. If you watched him at Gonzaga, he
Yeah, definitely.
did not give up on plays, and I think it helps the Thunder. But again, can they get over?
Which is a lot different from your boy.
Oh God,
Talk about effort plays.
yeah, it looked like he gave up on a lot of them now.
You saying he has a high motor?
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like another person that does.
Moving on.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
oh,
Just saying.
Moving on. So
Savior, right?
He will be.
It's a joke.
Oh,
That's a
Lord.
joke.
That is a joke.
That's
I
a
had to agree to
joke.
that is.
How many years you giving him?
Look, after free agency, after free agency, then we'll pick up this discussion
Okay.
again.
First of all,
And then I'll make my predictions.
First of all, with the Sixers, I mean, how many big men they got again?
8.
Nobody knows.
15.
Too many to count. I know that much. Go to our Twitter poll and answer the question: does the Derrick Rose trade make the Knicks contenders? On the other side of this break, y'all, we're talking about WWE, and we're joined by the Wrestling Realms, Dwayne Allen, and Brian Waters. This is the Flex Zone. Hey, family, this is Andre Melton, the executive producer and one of the founders of the Flex Zone. Make sure y'all come out July 14th at 7 p.m. as we have a live broadcast. Yes, y'all, the Flex Zone will be live from the Hotel RL in Baltimore. For more information, go to our Facebook page, The Flex Zone, or go to Instagram and Twitter at The Flex Zone 1, or send an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com and come on out and support us, y'all. All right, y'all, welcome back to the Flex Zone. Of course, we got D in here, and we're joined by the Wrestling Realm's own Brian H. Waters and Dwayne Allen. What's
That's
good,
us.
y'all?
Yeah, he makes sure
The-
he puts
the
some
real
dignity
Dwayne
on my
Allen.
name.
I am the real Dwayne Allen. That's true.
I had to put, what you say, put some respect on your name?
I said put some dignity. You know, I'm original. I'm not Birdman. I'm not, talking after a half-educated person. But let's get this show started.
Oh, my.
All right, y'all. Brian, you said 18 years ago today, The Undertaker and Mankind, Hell in a Cell, 1998.
Yeah, man, that's the site that I've gotten used to looking at. But and Dwayne was right there when we were in class, and I know he's gonna have a joke about this, but we were in class and I did a project about wrestling video. Is wrestling fake? And when we showed that vision of Foley falling off the cell, the look on everybody's faces in class was just undescribable. Me, I'm used to it. We done seen the clip a million times. It's on every WWE Network special. They have that match on 20 WWE DVDs.
You ain't lying.
But for people who just see it for the first time, it's like, wow,
Right.
Dwayne?
It's one of those things that you can't forget it even if you tried. Like you said, like Brian said, you see it on every video package. I remember when I as a youngster when I watched it, even after it passed, I was always trying to go back to like Hollywood Video around my grandparents' way because they actually had King of the Ring. And I was like, I need to see it live because, you always saw the video packages. And even back then when they showed the recaps, they just showed video stills.
Right.
That was for WCW and for WWF at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But for so many years, you said it's been, 18 now?
18 years
18
ago.
years ago. For so long, I'm like, was that meant to happen or not? And for almost like 5 or 6 years, I never got a solid answer because it was no network at the time. And it was talked about in kayfabe. You know what I mean? They really didn't talk about it in like, the during the real era type. We were discussing it, right? So I'm like, did Mankind mean to do that? Did they just get carried away? Was it planned out? Because Undertaker looks like he's standing up there after he does it, like, oh shoot, was this? And I'm just like, they stop the match, he comes back down. I don't know what's going on. So a lot of times it was like, but it was one of the things where if you weren't sure how the entertainment value sort of factored into professional wrestling at the time, I'm like, man, I understand this is all a show, but I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen or not. So I mean,
Honestly, that's a question I've never got answered to this day. Was it? Now I know the choke slam. They said that wasn't scripted.
Yeah, I
but
think
the
that was a
actual
mistake.
throwing off the cell.
It's Foley's idea.
It was Foley's idea.
All this time he came out, he finally said, yeah, he's like, I knew what I wanted to do going into it, but he, trying to leave a mark, trying to make a,
he was in a
lasting
bad
impression.
place in his life at the time too, right?
Yeah, relatively. Yeah,
it was.
You know what I mean? So, but it also, it propelled him at a small expense, I guess, because his body began to break down slowly, but it also transitioned him into the next phase of who Mankind would eventually become, which is the more comedic, lovable fan favorite that sort of boosted his career towards, I can't even say the end, I say the middle, because he's one of those timeless guys that never seem to retire.
It's funny you say that, if you don't mind, that right after that, when people started kind of feeling sorry for him, like you said, the sympathy factor, when you think about the summer of '98, you go back, and I advise everybody, go back and look at that Fully Loaded and that SummerSlam.
Ooh, Lord.
Wow.
That was the transition. And even though he was a titled heel, you hated Kane, but Mankind, you felt a soft spot for him. And then it just elevated until when they ultimately did the screw job part 2 at Survivor Series.
Yeah, they did.
When Mankind, everybody started loving him then with when he eventually would become WWE champion.
And D?
Yeah, man. I tell you, 18 years ago, I watched that match live. I said,
You saw it live?
Smoke, yes.
Oh, that's insane.
I said, holy smokes. Because, them two guys that went at it so much
yes.
in the past
Back
2
in
years.
96.
96, yeah.
It's like, what can they do to top it? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, they topped it, boy. I thought that Boiler Room match they had at SummerSlam 96 was something funny when Paul Bearer betrayed the Undertaker.
I mean, the Boiler Room, even the Buried Alive match.
Yeah.
Very live match. They had
Was
a
that
match.
Mind Games? Was that Buried Alive?
Yeah, it was one of the Mind Games.
Mind Games.
Something like
They
that.
had a
One of
match
house
where-
pay-per-views.
Undertaker just wailing on Mankind.
Look, even their first match at the King of the Ring
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 96, yeah.
was brutal.
When Undertaker came out looking like Batman.
Right.
at
Oh, yeah,
Survivor
because
Series.
his face was burning.
Survivor Series 96.
But like
Oh,
Brian and Dwayne was saying, though, once you seen Mankind transition over, and remember that King of the Ring, that wasn't the main event. It was
No,
Austin and Kane.
but they stole the show.
And they came back out and interfered in that match.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he came out, like, he didn't even have his mask on, did he?
No.
No. It's like
Bloody and
the
everything.
night's over. Go to the hospital, and he was just like, "No, I still got to show it." And the crazy part is, when you watch that, that's they show that clip so much, you assume that was it. That was the end of the match. That match continued.
Yeah.
It was the beginning.
Right. It was
Right.
at the very
It was
first
like
5
the
minutes
first.
of the
It
match.
was like the first 3, because I think Mankind first climbed on the cell, then the Undertaker followed him.
Yeah.
Right. He goes flying off. Then gets off, goes back up, choke slam through the cage. Thumbtacks were pulled out, and it was just like,
and Jim Ross sold that baby, man.
That was the perfect.
Oh, my.
I think
Good
that was.
person
I
to
think like
commentate
it
on
seems
that.
so real. I think they were like fed up. Like, man, we gotta. We're calling for the doctors, and you guys are not coming out. This is unprofessional.
It's a
Like-
human being out
right.
there.
like he went from coming to like HR department really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have medical staff for a reason. They need to make their way out to the back. Like he's trying to make a call, and I'm like, man, that was too real. But those were the moments that also define that era, though.
No
You know what I
doubt.
mean? Like, you weren't asking, was it real or fake? Even with so many things that were coming out to expose the wrestling industry at the time, everybody's like, it doesn't even matter. And yeah, you can tell me it's fake, but the programming was so legit that you looked at it and you said, man, you can say what you want, but I'm not sure if that's real or not, because that didn't look like it was fake. It didn't look like it was scripted. Because you would say, well, who would script this stuff? You know, nobody knew how insane Vince McMahon and his family could possibly go, but we found out back in
yes, they
'98,
did.
I guess. So.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow, because I mean that's an epic moment in wrestling history.
Yeah, absolutely.
But speaking of epic moments in history, we had all 3 members of the Shield actually win the World Heavyweight Championship in one night.
That's correct. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah,
now
those
they're
guys.
fighting. Now they're fighting in a triple threat match at Battleground.
As of right now, say.
Yeah, it's still that way.
Look, I mean, as a Raw, we still have the match. So
No, that's true. I mean, I remember going back when the Shield first began to really make their impact. I can't say when they debuted. When they started to make their impact, one of the things I kept saying, even in the realm of the group, Facebook group, I said the Shield's going to go down as probably one of the most impactful factions of all time. And there know people that argue with me about it and literally left the group because of it. But this sort of shows where the heads of creative were when they said, okay, we're going to take 3 young guys who were previously, I guess the year before, they were curtain jerking at WrestleMania and Access. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To really make that impact and to sort of see it come full circle, where you say, okay, these are guys that we're going to take 3 young superstars, we're going to build them, and they become almost franchise players. And like I said, for them to all become world champions, it's you see the impact of, okay, this is what the Shield was. Like I said, it's now you can start running the DVD package now. You know what I mean? It's come full circle because now you have your Dean Ambrose matches, you have your Seth Rollins matches, you have your Roman Reigns run. We can finally get it out the way. So if they want to do it again, they have the blueprint. You know what I mean? Or they can take from it and, you know, whatever they got to do to sort of switch it up or sort of let that evolve. When you see other things, the 3-man faction groups evolve over time, the Shield will go down as probably one of the most unique and impactful factions that we've had in the world of professional wrestling.
No question.
Go ahead.
They got to be the most impactful because 3 world champions in one faction.
And they're
They've
all
never had
young.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're not at the bottom end of their career. They're just getting
It's
started.
just getting rolling.
You
And,
know what I mean?
Seth Rollins has come back. I wish they would turn him babyface. I think eventually that has to happen. Dean Ambrose gotten a shot in the arm. He's looking great.
Mhm.
And we're getting the Roman Reigns in a moment. But even with
Wait. You said that? D? You said we're getting Roman Reigns in a moment?
Oh yeah, we will.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
No,
Well, you know,
All right.
I'm not a big fan of what has transpired, and
Wait a second. That was your world champion, right?
it wasn't my world champion.
You sure?
I gave him a chance.
Oh, okay.
That's all it
All
was.
right. Well, I just
Give him
want
a
to clear it
chance.
up, on the air.
But
Brian.
the thing is that you look at a guy like Dean Ambrose. He was the one that I didn't think would get the title
Anytime. soon.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know, I thought maybe a year, 2,
Mhm.
but when they pulled the trigger on him, and first of all, I just want to say they did this on the night of perhaps I think it has went down as the most watched NBA Finals in history as far as Game 7. And for me, somebody who was had both TVs on, I watched the finals, but then I wanted to watch the celebration. But I had Money in the Bank on. And the moment I saw Dean come out, my attention shifted because I was like, wait a minute. I don't think he's going to be a guy who's going to cash in. And then we've come accustomed to waiting for when somebody's ready to cash in and then the champion rolling out
Nah, the tease.
and then the tease. But when they rung the bell, I was like, uh-oh. And it seemed like it just happened in slow motion for me when he hit the dirty deeds. 1, 2, 3. It's like, oh my gosh, Dean Ambrose is WWE champion. Is Dwayne say? Are you freaking kidding me? And so,
I do say that.
yeah. So gotta give credit where credit's due. Now I'm excited about his title reign. I haven't been this excited about a title reign since, in all honesty, since Seth Rollins first won the title.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose.
Well, you were always a Dean Ambrose guy, even when you said he came out at WrestleMania.
He was my first.
Was
pick.
that Raw, that following Raw after WrestleMania that you guys went to that he came out and said, I'm gonna be a household name or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It was during that pre-show Superstars. And that was the time when he was supposed to be beef. It was supposed to be set up for a beef with Foley.
Right.
And you look at he had this long jacket on, sort of like he kind of looked like what the Miz wears. In all honesty, he was like,
Right.
wait a minute, this guy. And I talked to some of his friends on the indie scenes, and they kept saying star, star, star. And I'm like, okay, are you saying this because this is your boy, or are you saying this because we know indie star and WWE star are two different things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even went back to watch some of his footage when he was on the Indies as world champion. I said, okay, you know what? I like this guy. So to see all that come full circle, and I felt that when he was losing to Brock Lesnar, I felt like he was paying his dues for something big.
Yeah.
Because anybody could have went. Not anybody was going to be given that match. Let's be real. And the way we all knew he was going to lose. Let's be real. But the beating he took, I said, he's going to get an ultimate payoff. Yeah. And I'm like, wow.
Everybody got to get whooped by Brock first for you to world title reign.
How about that, though? I mean, Rollins kind of avoided it in a sense.
He was the man. So
But Brian Michael, why is it that the Money in the Bank winner outside of Seth Rollins
Mhm.
get crapped on in the writing area?
You said what?
They get crapped on like the writing area, like they're booked weak, and then once they get that Money in the Bank, they shot to the moon.
I think they try to rock you to sleep a little bit. I think
Rock
that's
you
what it is.
sleep, and then it also gives people. You got title contenders, say, well, I beat you before. Now you got the belt. I get a shot. So now you don't, because remember when Daniel Bryan won it, when he actually won it,
True.
he lost all these matches.
That's what I'm saying.
And
He
then,
got
but now
cracked.
he had all these competitors that could, viably challenge him for the title. So
I think the only one to actually win consistently was Edge. Like, I
I'd
can't
say
think. I
Edge
can't.
and,
thi-
and
I
Seth
can't.
Rollins too. I
the
think
Edge was hot.
I can't.
Yeah, Edge was.
I can't
Oh,
think
Edge is
of.
on fire.
I
Edge
can't
is
think of
on
nobody
Edge.
who actually had Money in the Bank. It was just on a roll.
But
With
we also
it.
had to get reprogrammed to get in to believe that Edge was the main eventer.
Yes,
That's
yes,
true.
yes.
Because if he would have won the Money in the Bank and started losing, we'd have been like, "Oh, you just a mid card anyway." But we had to get used to seeing. So by the time New Year's Revolution came, I mean, you could just go back and look at the way he looked at Vince McMahon when he hands him the briefcase,
Yeah,
and on the DVD he said Vince told him, "All right, I trust you. Make me look good." And when he went out there, me as a huge Edge fan, I didn't see that one live, but when I found out like hours before Raw came on, I couldn't wait to watch Raw. I was like, wow, my guy's finally world champion.
Not to mention the added heat he got, teaming up with Lita after a
Oh,
while.
he draws some
After
heat.
that, after that feud with Matt Hardy sort of came to life on
Ooh,
camera.
draws some-
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, right now they're talking about splitting Raw and SmackDown back into doing a brand. So we have Shane running Raw, and we also have Stephanie running Raw. But there's a lot of question marks going on as to who's going to run what show. What do you guys think about the draft coming up?
I'm feeling two ways about it because there was a time where when the draft came originally, I wasn't a big fan of it because to me, I felt like that was the end of the Attitude Era. Sort of when the program had become oversaturated with so much talent because of a lot of the WCW mid-card guys and the ECW. I feel like the ECW guys had more success than some of the WCW guys that came over. So I understand why it was necessary, and that was sort of the status quo for so many years. But then, being a few years out without the brand split, just having, all the talent under one roof, to me, it makes the title seem that much more important, and it makes the shows that much more important. I don't know how many days where I chose not to watch Raw or SmackDown because I didn't know what I was going to see on that day versus saying, okay, if I have a set roster on SmackDown, I'm going to watch the show versus Raw. I usually primarily watch Raw more than I watch SmackDown anyway, early on when the brand shift started. Now, on a positive note, I can say, okay, with a brand split, I probably see more talent. We'll probably get another world champion. So I wouldn't mind that AJ Styles is going to be the first guy in line. But the thing is, I don't want that to become a second-tier title all of a sudden because of the brand split.
Right.
Carlos mentioned in the Rumble, he says, anybody notice that they're not calling it the WWE World Heavyweight Championship
Yeah,
anymore?
they're back to the
Yeah, that's
WWE
what you
champion
said,
now.
And I'm like, see, I don't like that because to me, that title, when they united it, that means you were the guy, like 100%, and you were the champion. But now it's like, okay, you got two champions. I'm not sure how I feel about going back to looking at it that way because then you say, okay, well, what's more important? You know what I mean? What's the okay? We'll give you the title just to hold to say you're world champion versus you're really the guy we're gonna run with. And I don't want that to be a cop out. Well, you know what I mean? Well, we don't really trust AJ Styles right now as the guy, so we'll just put a world title just so we can say we gave him a world title run. And then I don't know how I feel about it, but it's a lot of talent. If it's done correctly, it's a lot. It's different because it's live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, SmackDown's gonna be live.
So
That's a huge deal.
I think that'll add a different spin to it. So, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm sort of sticking one toe in the water, maybe two toes, and sort of treading lightly to see what happens next.
Brian?
I'm glad you said that. When the draft first happened in 2002, just like Dwayne, it's funny, we didn't even know each other then, but I was not a fan. And I was in the minority in my friends of my wrestling circle because I was excited. Now, we had just, in my household, we had cable at that time for probably over a year, satellite to be accurate. So I was getting accustomed to being able to watch Raw again because throughout the Attitude Era, I relied on tapes. My grandmother would record it. I would get the tape throughout the middle of the week. So I was able to see Raw and SmackDown, but we only had one satellite box in my parents' room. So SmackDown, I always watched faithfully. And I was mad when the draft happened because I wanted to see, your Hogans and your Austins interact or stuff like that, But when it came to the championship picture, I liked the fact that the champion, if the May pay-per-view was a SmackDown pay-per-view, that's where the champion was. He would defend the title or he would lose the belt, but then he would deal with the people on Raw for June. That's what I'm hoping they do with this. Like Dwayne was saying, you'll be a champion of the company as opposed to two titles. Do you guys know at any given time where it felt that both titles had equal importance?
I thought in the beginning when they had the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, I thought at the beginning of that
Because Triple H had it.
Yeah, Triple H was awarded it, and it was hot. Lesnar had the one on SmackDown,
Okay.
and it was to me, the beginning of it was good. It's around 05 where it kind
But
of
see,
I was going to say, it also depended to who the champion was.
yeah.
Who the champion was and who held the belt. It
Right.
seemed like whoever held the belt on Raw, of course, had the more significant role. But
remember the main company title at the time was on SmackDown.
Can I ask y'all
but-
one question? Did you think that when CM Punk and CM Punk and Mark Henry or CM Punk and Daniel Bryan or even at that time might have been CM Punk and
Was Jeff Hardy?
Randy Orton, when they both held the titles in 2011ish, going into 2012. Well, 2012. Did you guys feel like it was equal, or did you still feel Raw was the bigger title?
I thought by then Raw
Raw's
kind
big.
of
Yeah, it took
Okay.
over.
got all the main people.
Actually, when you say Orton and I would say Mark Henry and Batista, and of course Edge,
And that's
and Taker too. I
Yeah,
felt
Taker.
like
Yeah,
when
Taker.
when those guys had the belt on SmackDown,
it was a big deal.
It was a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
But it was some of the other ones I was like,
Because it did get a couple of
questionable about.
WrestleMania main events too.
Oh, no doubt.
No,
Yeah,
like
it
you said,
did.
Taker and Edge were two of the guys that I remember, and Batista were three of the guys. Like in what D was saying in 2000, maybe 5 or 6. That's when they were Batista and Cena were sort of neck and neck. To me, I felt like at that point when Cena finally came to Raw, the title was. But like I said, one guy took off and the other guy sort of. I don't know what you called it because he didn't really plateau. It's just I don't feel like he got any further than where he was trying to go.
Basically, you could say he hit his ceiling.
But that, and
Yeah.
you know, that's,
He,
that's
he,
exactly what
he
it was.
didn't he didn't break through it.
Right, and I think
felt
that's what
like
happened.
Cena became the more crossover appeal where
Yeah.
Batista was over with the wrestling crowd, but just not over with the outside crowd.
Right. Not that. Yeah, I agree. So I see them both ends. Well, I see okay in some regards it was even at one point, but then like I said, it also depends on who had it because anytime Edge or Taker or they had it, I felt like it was you needed to see SmackDown because you wanted to see what Edge was going to do. You needed to see what Taker was getting involved in because versus I don't know, you know what I mean.
And the Heyman when he was on SmackDown, he had the SmackDown 6, so that
Right.
kind of helped. The writing also helped that out, and for a moment, SmackDown was a better show.
I would
yeah,
say
Yeah.
And just
I
similar
thought
to Brian, I mean, I grew up not having cable until like my junior year of high school. So for the longest time, I was a person SmackDown faithfully. I was there.
UPN
right.
baby.
If I
Yeah,
could,
Thursday
if I
nights.
could go over to a friend's house or watch Raw somehow that way, then that's the only way I was able to get Raw. So I was a
Right.
huge SmackDown person for the longest time. And when they had the SmackDown 6, I mean, this is after I had cable, but still, I mean, this is when I'm like, okay, SmackDown is back to being that show.
Right.
It's kind of plateaued since, so we're hoping that with the live show, it'll get back to what SmackDown used to be.
And it's
But,
on USA, right?
yeah,
it's
both
on
shows
USA.
on USA.
Yeah, so they're going USA gonna push that.
And it's going to be live, so I mean,
And the draft would be
Could be
on that
nice.
first live show.
Yeah.
So
July 19th.
So they'll set the tone the right way.
And I don't want to see any spoilers for the draft.
I
I don't
don't
want
either.
to see
I don't
nothing.
either.
I want to watch it as if I'm watching the MLB draft. I would say NBA and NFL, but we always know who gonna go 1 and 2. I want to watch it like I'm watching MLB draft.
Yeah. Well, Stephanie and Shane been running the show. What are you guys' thoughts about Stephanie and Shane running the show right now?
It's different. To me, it's a little stagnant because I can't tell the direction of what the authority figure stands for. For me, wrestling has always been some sort of main authority figure in one way or another, whether it's heel or face, right? You kind of have both because you have Stephanie sort of being very neutral about the situation versus Shane being the fan favorite that's sort of come back from being absent from the company for so long, right? So it's like, okay, they're getting along now as brother and sister, but at some point I feel like there will be a split. To me, it would make sense to keep Stephanie on Raw because she'll be naturally despised as the boss's daughter versus Shane. That's automatically going to bring eyes to your product because, one, he's still the prodigal son that's returned home. You know what I mean? And he'll have no problem saying, well, shoot, I think I can make SmackDown a better Raw show. And to be honest, that's the goal. Raw's been out for who knows how long. To me, it's established. Doesn't matter what you do with it. It's going to be fine the way it is. SmackDown needs to be a better show because you need reasons to tune in to say, I need to make sure it's going to be Tuesdays, right?
yep, Tuesdays, 8
Tuesdays.
p.m.
Because that's usually when they record it anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like they say, okay, we need to make SmackDown a better show. So it's must see TV like Raw is. I think Shane can help with that, main on SmackDown.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm excited just to see. Well, one, having the McMahons back is always great. Especially anytime they're on television, it's must see TV for me. The days of the Johnny Aces, the Vicky Guerrero, they were cool. But give me
Teddy Long.
Holla, holla, holla.
Tag matches everywhere.
give me Stephanie and Shane. Like I said, Shane's a fan favorite. He's to me, unless it would be very hard for him to be a heel. But I like what Stephanie did on the most recent episode on Monday Night Raw when she called out Dean Ambrose and said nothing was more embarrassing than him being the champion.
Ouch.
I thought that was great. It
was
was typical Stephanie McMahon. So, and then a few weeks ago when she was with the New Day, they did a heelish move because just when she was about to dance,
She just shake her tail feather.
right?
I'm like, oh, come on. I was waiting for that, but I said, oh, here it comes.
Even
Even
going
my
back to John Cena and her.
Right. Which, yeah.
Even my wife was like, "Man, I wanted to see Stephanie twerk," but very heelish move for them to make it not happen. So, if she was a fan favorite, she would have did something. But it's good.
She should have shook her tail feather.
Like she did with John Cena in 03. Went great.
Oh, wait, you talking about when John Cena actually smacked her
Yes.
on the booty?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Since we're running out of time, what are you guys' thoughts about Roman Reigns and his suspension?
Test.
Damn it. I've been waiting for this.
Test.
Oh, gosh. To me, it's I don't want to call it poetic justice because you never want to wish stuff like that on anybody. But to me, it's the dumbest thing. Like, someone's trying to give you the world,
Well, it was dumb.
and you're already not liked by many because people are confused in regards to your role and what they're trying to play. You got a guy that's supposed to be the next big face of the company, but you get booed out the building. So they settle for, well, at least people care about him. Sure, at least he's getting some sort of reaction. Okay, cool. So they put him in this position. He's been given the title when Rollins went down to carry the brand, and then all of a sudden he gets suspended. It's like right before the marquee pay-per-view matchup that everyone's been trying to get their hands on. This is the Shield. Finally the Shield at one point, like I can imagine them putting the video packages together already, and then all of a sudden he ruins that now because now it's in like someone's gonna say if he's still in this match, someone's gonna say, well, why does he get a chance to be in this match? But after he got suspended this way,
Even if he loses or get beat
Right.
up and doesn't get any
I feel like
offensive,
if he
he's still there.
loses, he's gonna be on Superstars next week. Probably not that bad, but he might lose the Social
I think
Outcast.
I think
in
he
the
takes the
handicap
pen
match.
in this match though.
Yeah,
takes pen in this
he's
match.
gotta be the one to put somebody over. As good as he can, I guess. I suppose.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, bro.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I really think
I think it was an accident.
No, I'm sure it
Yeah.
was, but it's like, come on now, like you're the champion now.
you are the champion. You should be
I mean,
aware of what you're putting in your body.
How did Shawn Michaels get away with it? You should have studied that. That's what he should have studied. Whatever HBK did to get away with everything, I didn't just study that because it worked for him.
I just, he should have been more careful what he put in his body, because I'm like, I don't know him. And I said this on the Wrestling Summit the other day, on Sunday, but I just don't see Roman Reigns trying to get a competitive edge. You're already, like you said, you're already champion. You've already been given a world, probably more than what people feel you should have, regardless to how hard they want to tell us he works hard. But it's like, come on. But I just don't think he did that. I think it's just,
Well, let me answer this. That maybe somebody can clear. What exactly did they say? What's
they're not saying.
They're
Okay.
not saying a thing.
Because
So
we
they're not
just
saying-
know it wasn't marijuana, because if it was marijuana, according to the wellness policy that's on WWE.com, he would have only been fined. So
Right.
we know it was a
Okay.
PED of some sort.
So you think he's probably taking something for recovery?
Maybe recovery, maybe, that's probably what it was.
Because
I
you look
can
at
see-
Adam Rose first, he was saying like this. I took something that they told me I was accused of something that I didn't know wasn't good legal, or I took something that I had prescription for and they misconstrued it.
Mhm.
Versus him saying, I know what I did, I own up to it, I messed up. It is what it is.
And that's the reason why I think he's just being like, you know what, I did it, I was wrong, rather than fight it.
right.
Yeah.
And who knows, he probably said, well, shoot, I can use the rest.
I was gonna say, he probably just wanted time out. That's what Randy Orton used to do. Every time he went time out, he just acted a fool
I
and
need
suspended.
a rest.
I need 60 days off.
yeah,
Why couldn't CM Punk do that? I don't understand.
yeah, he's straight
I don't.
edge.
Yeah, there you go. They said him and Luke Gallows said on the pod, they just eat all the time, like eat cupcakes and sweets. That was their, since they didn't drink or do anything like that. That was how.
Oh,
they dealt
Gallows
with it.
didn't do that either? Oh, when
No,
he
Gallows did, but when they were in the gimmick, they had to live it sort
Oh,
of,
okay.
sort of protecting the business
Oh.
outside. So they were, we don't be someone with straight edge and his fans see you at the bar,
Yeah.
4 a.m. drinking a brewski.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You know, I just don't like that he's in the triple threat match. It sets a bad standard to me.
In what way?
I mean, hey, I could cheat and still be in the main event of a pay-per-view.
Well,
But I think it hurts him more he's not at the draft. Because he's supposed to be one of the anchors of the
Yeah.
shows.
So he won't be eligible for the draft because he's
Nope.
suspended.
Nope.
I think he'll be drafted.
Guess the day after he can come back, the 20th.
What I'm thinking is that
But he can't be drafted, like Brian said. He will be drafted.
he'll be drafted. What they'll probably do is set it up so that way he just appears on one show and it's like, oh, Roman Reigns is on Raw.
He's gonna be like, "Hey everybody, I'm on Raw now."
But it would have been cool to see because,
Bland.
rumors are saying him and Seth on Raw, Cena and AJ on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to see, like, if that was the case, him and Seth kind of have a, preview to their battle because that's going to be the rivalry.
Why?
But,
Hop on, man. All right, y'all. Well, this concludes our wrestling segment. We want to definitely thank the Wrestling Realm for helping us out, and we'll continue to do more of these throughout the summer. Make sure y'all go to our Twitter poll and answer, does Derrick Rose make the Knicks contenders, yes or no? And next week, we'll be discussing UFC because Brock Lesnar will be at UFC 200.
Well, here comes the pain.
So we also want to thank True Sounds for our theme song. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Flex Zone 1. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, send an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. And come on out July 14th and support us as The Flex Zone will be live at the Red Line Hotel at 7 p.m., y'all. This is the Flex Zone, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, peace.
Peace. We gone.